Hello, everybody. How are you guys? Hey. How is everybody doing? I have such a treat for you guys today. You all have been like selling out all the tickets to the documentary series tour. So now I'm going to bring on one of the panelists that you're going to get to meet in Nashville. So excited. How are you guys? Hey. Welcome in. Hey, Jabril. Hey. I love it. And we'll wait for Sara to come in. Oh, oops. Okay, everybody, never mind. Let's go to hers. Hold on, let me double check. And it looks like she is live now as well. So let me double check if we're going to do it with hers or mine. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, good. Okay. Hey, girl, hey. Okay. Sara, will you request to join again? Let's make sure that we get you in here. Hey, guys. Hey, Ryan. How are you? How's everything doing? How's your trading going? Hey, Nikki. Hello. Okay, good. Yeah, I cannot. Let me put it on this thing. Sara!
Hi! Hey,
how you doing?
I am so good. How are you?
I'm good. Oh my gosh. So why am I starving now? Because I just looked at all of your recipes and videos. I was like, what? Oh my gosh.
Food is life. Food is everything.
Girl, I am so with you. And then you're beautiful too. Like I've been looking at like how you've been working your curves and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to learn everything from her.
There are so many tips and tricks. For those of you that don't know, I will be in Nashville. I will show you the curves, the angles, how to hide my stomach. I'll show you the whole 9 yards.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. And we got tons of people coming in here. As they come in, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and I also introduce myself. But y'all, we're having a conversation today. For those that are just coming in, I have a docu-series, if you haven't heard. It's a documenting my trade and travel lifestyle as I trade stocks and travel all over the world. And my name is Teri Ijeoma. And yeah, we're going to 5 different cities. And actually, we just added one for those sneakers who looked, tradeandtraveltour.com. We just added Dallas to the mix. So for everybody who's like, dang, I wish I had my VIP ticket, I didn't get it. You can get one right now in Dallas. It's going to fly to Dallas.
Yes.
But Sara will be with us in Nashville, so cannot wait to see her.
I'm so excited.
And Sara, tell them who you are.
Hey y'all, I am Sara Hood. You all know me by Sara Lovestyle. I am a lifestyle blogger. I am a tech and CPG entrepreneur. I'm an autism mom. Oh gosh, I wear a lot of hats. I own and I'm founder of Belay Bell Spice Company. And something I haven't shared yet, which I can't wait to talk about in Nashville, is my pop-ups are coming back. So there will be these Sara Lovestyle pop-ups starting in the fall.
Yay! But now tell us, what is a pop-up? What do they expect with these pop-ups?
So it is fine dining, but all familiar foods, but just really elevated. So you'll have your chicken waffles, you'll have your Cajun pasta, you'll have the things that you know, just in a very different way. I am cooking all the food. I don't outsource it. It's sit down. It is an experience. My first pop-up in Atlanta was actually in Young Thug's old house with a swimming pool in the middle. It is extra. My personality is extra. So it's an experience with food and conversations. And I force people who don't know each other to sit next to each other and just, talk and figure it out. Food is the one place where people will be quiet and listen to each other. So
oh my God.
Breaking bread.
Girl. And you guys, well, tell them about and I don't want to say it wrong, so tell them about the brands. They can go see all your videos. Because if y'all see those, then you will want to be at the table at her pop-up.
Yes, it is Belay Bell. It is named after my dad. So I am actually a refugee camp born. I'm Ethiopian by my parents, but I was born in Sudan during a war, and my dad is my hero. So and we only have girls. My poor dad doesn't have a son, so this is a way for me to carry on his legacy and to name it after him. And my dad is hard to please and is really picky. And when I got his stamp of approval for all the sauces and spices, I knew I was onto something.
Oh my goodness. You know, I'm first generation African as well. My dad's from Nigeria. And he's actually still over there now. And his family, like my dad, when we had the genocide of the Igbo tribe, then my grandfather sent my dad to go to school here in the States. Yeah. So, yep. Oh my goodness. This is going to be kind of a deep topic. You probably weren't prepared for this, but how do you feel right now with all the Afghanistan people having to like come over and refugee camps? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I don't know how much you all believe in it, but I am an empath. And one of the things that I'm an introverted empath. And one of the things that I struggle with, if I can be honest, is knowing how to separate when things are happening in our world and struggling to feel it, but also disconnect so that it's not taking me out for a while. Usually it takes me a few weeks to recover when something happens and it's hard, and I'm an introvert, so I don't really talk about it, and I stay in my own head and I try to process by myself, and it doesn't always work that well. But this current situation in Afghanistan, for me, is familiar. To be honest, it's been hard. Especially with women and children. My mom was 13 when she left, and my dad was 17, and the only thing his dad told him was to run, and don't ever come back. Until it's safe, don't come back. And so to think now, I don't think I realized as a child that I was watching my parents grow up. I don't think I realized how close in age we were. And so I think about, the families that are trying to get out and how scary it must be, and how, especially when they're coming here, you don't know the language, you don't know the culture, you don't really know how to connect, but you're just happy to get out, and you're happy to just be safe. And so it has spawned a lot of conversations with my parents about what that experience was like for them, for their perspective, and then to also see what is happening. I was really young, I was 3, so I don't remember a lot of it, but it obviously it does really, connect with my soul, because that could have been my story. And I don't know, by a stroke of luck or God, the universe, whatever you believe in, me getting here was interesting in and of itself. And so I don't know how different my life would be had things not happen the way that they did.
That's a blessing. I saw on one of your posts you said that you were anointed. So I definitely believe in God. I think that everything happens for a reason. So I am so thankful that you are here on this earth, flourishing the way that you are in this land. That is such a blessing.
Thank you. It is. Life is an interesting journey. I will say that.
And it's nice too that you have such a good relationship with your parents, because like they went through so much to get here.
Yeah.
And now they can see you and see you flourishing, right?
Yeah. I am the epitome of the American dream. I am living it. This is what you hope for as an immigrant, and especially for our parents. I can only imagine what they hoped and dreamed for when they got here. And I am definitely living it. I'm very, very blessed.
Oh man, I literally say that in the documentary. And I don't know what, girl, sometimes I get on these lives and I just immediately start crying. I think I just feel your story, because I'm about to shed a tear right here. If I start crying, I don't laugh at me.
We can cry together, it's okay.
But I literally say that in the documentary too. Like my grandmother, my dad is in Nigeria now, so a lot of times my mom and grandmother raised me by themselves. And like my grandmother was the one that was like, in her lifetime, she was still a sharecropper. She was still picking cotton. Like she could never imagine that, like now I'm in this $1 million home, and I literally like Oh my gosh. So I shared this on a live yesterday, but today I actually had my best training day ever. I've been like literally working for this goal for like a year, and I just hit it today.
Yes.
I don't think she could even imagine that. Like what? Like my baby is trading stocks and she's living in these like really cool houses. She like can walk out on the beach. Like, she just was happy I was alive.
Yes. Yes. We are our ancestors' dreams. We are doing what they hoped we would. You know, I was telling a friend of mine yesterday that the hardest part about life is uncertainty. The hardest part is not knowing what's to come, and the planner in me and the natural warrior in me wants to know what's next, or wants to know what's happening. And I also think that there is something really beautiful in it too. There is something beautiful about uncertainty and the unknown, because growth happens in that place. And for them, that was a huge step of faith. You have to take one heck of a risk. You have to have the cojones of steel and grit and survival in order to decide, I am leaving it all, and we're doing it. We're not just talking about it. I think that's the part that I'm sure that they would be the most proud of, is we're doing it. We're actually doing it.
Are there any times in your journey that there was like a big step of faith that you had to make?
Oh, all the time. Oh yeah. Getting on social media. I never thought I would get on it. I hated it. Never thought I'd be an influencer. Hated the word.
Really? You're so good at it though. You didn't want to?
Growth, and a glow up. That was not, no. And I'm really private. And you know what it is too? Part of it is not knowing if people care about what you have to say. Do people even want to see you at all? Because you have to see my face every day. Like, are they going to get tired? Or is my message enough? Am I enough? Am I even worthy to be talking about whatever subject it is? I started in the beauty space and could not have imagined that this is where it would lead. I would have never imagined that I would have kind of found my voice and my confidence through this journey. I couldn't have imagined that by being an influencer, it actually turned me into a really, really dope entrepreneur. And also it helped me have really thick skin, so I can be in rooms and command the space that I want and take a seat at the table, or I can build my own darn table. But that happened because I took a bunch of steps. Even the first investment that I took, the first investment I ever made 2 years ago, that was a leap of faith. I was scared. Oh, I was scared. Jesus. I was scared.
Now what investment was this? What kind of investment?
So I invest in tech, fintech, and the first one I ever did is called Moon Ultralight, and it is the just dopest. It's the size of a quarter, but it's like the dopest lighting device you'll ever. I'll send you one. It is.
Yes, please.
It is.
I'm gonna need it.
I use it food photography. I do it with my selfies. So you know how when you take photos, it's just trash, and then you wasted a whole outfit because there's not enough lighting, or in a restaurant. So this helps take care of that whole issue. I'm actually mad I didn't think of it, but the founder is really, really, really dope. His name is Edward Madangarari. Like, he's amazing. And so that was the first one. And I remember going to my personal finance team, and they were like, could you do this, or maybe not, or we don't understand it. But as an influencer, the product made sense. And I remember, this has stuck with me, was something I said, and it was, I'm not asking you for permission. And it was the first time I learned to like stand on my own. And I was like, oh, I was like Superman. I'm like, who am I? I'm like, yes. Okay. I'm coming into my own. It took me 31 years to be that confident to where I could tell someone, I'm not asking permission.
Asking for permission.
I am telling you. And I hit a unicorn on my first try. Like, and I just, there's a lot. I mean, every time you turn this app on, it's a leap of faith. Every time you try something new and you experiment in life, it's, every time you decide that you want to open your mouth and speak about something, it's a leap of faith. Parenting is a leap of faith. Yes.
So true. And I heard you say that you're parenting an autistic kid, or what's the right way to say it?
Autistic.
Like,
he's autistic.
Okay. Autistic kid.
Yeah.
So Well, before we get there though, if you all are somebody that needs this, like you need to like personally affirm yourself, like write in the chat in the comments, like, I'm not asking for permission, because that was huge. Like Sarah said, like it took her a minute to get to that spot. And then once she did, she's like, no, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm just telling y'all, because, you know, I'm supposed to tell y'all the finance people.
Right.
But this is what we're going to do today. Thank you.
Yes.
I love it. And then it turned out successful. And this is a fintech investment. So that means, did you get like a ton of return on that?
We will talk about that privately.
Okay, yes. Okay, never mind. But let's just say for everybody else, do not be afraid to invest, because you can do big things when you invest.
Yes.
And you will be afraid, but at the same time, just take it. Like, it's a leap of faith. Don't ask for permission. Thank you. I'm seeing you guys in the comments. I'm not asking for permission. Like, yes, you can do this.
Take up space. Take it. Life is so short, and we sell a lot of times our expectations are not met because or frustration happens because expectations are not met, and we have these expectations set for ourselves, and we don't even allow ourselves permission to live. We don't allow ourselves permission to try. My biggest fear in life is regret. I would, like, the thought of regret scares me more than the thought of failure. I would rather fail and know I've tried.
Right. I'm actually with you. That actually is why I started Trade and Travel. I had a dream that I had passed away, and I had like one last time to talk to my mom and grandmother. And the thing, like I could feel the emotion of it, but it was just so heavy. I was so sad that I didn't get a chance to see the rest of the world. Yeah. Like I regretted not taking those chances to explore the world.
Yeah.
And I think for me, like that still is the thing. If I were to die today, the one thing I'd be upset of is I didn't take more chances. I didn't try more things. I was, working so hard that I didn't actually use my time well, right?
Yep.
That's so true.
Time. It just, I don't know if you know, so when I was 23, I had a heart attack. And when that happened, that shifted how I look and how I view the world and how time operates. And it really doesn't wait for anyone. And at 23, I'm like, that doesn't happen to a healthy 23-year-old. Now, given I was over 200 pounds, but we're not going to talk about that.
Anybody ask about all that? No.
And
I'm 23.
I was 23. And it was too much on my body. And so you have these experiences throughout life, and you wonder, like, what's next for me? And if something had happened today, what would my legacy be? What would my story be? What would they tell my son? Like, is that really where my story ends? And so from then, I made sure that I gave myself the permission to try and fail over and over and over again. I probably started 4 or 5 businesses before this one took off. Nobody saw it though, because I wasn't on social media. When I started this brand, this isn't when I started, I was embracing beauty by Sara, and this was not what I thought it would be. And so when, the rebrand and the changes and the thing that I love about social media and just life in general over the course of the last 6 years, I think a lot of us are waiting for perfect to show up, but people have literally watched me evolve from a 26, 27-year-old woman to now a 33-year-old woman who is just in a very different place in her life. Now, I'm also one of those people where I don't show the ugly parts and the hard part and the heartbreak and everything else in life. But even still, I allow myself not only just the permission to heal, but allow myself to show up every single day and allow people to join me on the journey, which is, I think, why, people kind of rock with us. We're learning, we're figuring it out together. I don't have all the answers. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know that if we continue to show up and we continue to try and not live today with regret. My dad used to ask me when I was younger, and it used to make me so mad, but he would ask me, like, what did you fail at today? And it used to make me so mad. And I'm a perfectionist. I am a Capricorn. If you've ever met one, that is me. And I realize now as I've gotten older, and I do the same thing with my boys, is what did you fail at today? What's something where you can improve on? And that way, by trying something new every day, you kind of minimize the risk of regret because you tried something.
Right. Your dad was ahead of the curve because I heard that the Spanx lady, her dad used to ask her that too. I wish
Did
my
he really?
dad would ask. Yes, yes. And now she's a billionaire.
Yep.
But she used to get the same question from her dad, and she said that he made it fun to fail. So she would do more things and she would try more things because he would always ask her. And the thing was, okay, if you haven't tried something, then you couldn't have failed at anything yet.
Yep.
And he was able to then flourish.
Exactly. And he was almost disappointed because he's like, you didn't try. You didn't risk something today. You didn't attempt to learn. And my thing is, I don't want to fail. Like, nobody seeks out failure, whether that's in life, in business, like, that's not the goal. But in those failures is also the greatest lessons that those failures made me a better entrepreneur. My first investment was a disaster. But it taught me to ask more questions for the next round. It taught me to be more intuitive. It taught me that even though I don't necessarily invest in a traditional sense, the fact that I am a woman and the fact that I am intuitive and very spiritual, and I also believe in discernment, has made me actually a great investor because I'm able to decide what works for me based on what my spirit is telling me. I know it's not the typical way, but it works.
My friend told me recently, we were on a live similar to this, and she was like, Teri, the Lord told me to tell you that your superpower is intuition.
Yes.
I was like,
yes.
Okay, thank you. I receive it. Okay, thanks. But I think that's really a big deal. It makes a difference. And shout out real quick to Sean Anthony. I know he even connected us.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean. And he put in there, y'all, if y'all want to see us live, we're actually going to be live in Nashville together on September, I believe it's the 13th, right? Is it September 13th? Or y'all put it, for those who are coming to Nashville, put it in the chat, the date. But go to tradeandtraveltour.com and you can get a ticket to come and see us. And Nashville is one of the cities that actually has tickets available. So you can come seeing us live. And should I tell them, y'all in the chat, or actually, Sarah, you tell me, should I tell them who else is coming or should we keep it a surprise?
I think we should tell them. A little teaser doesn't hurt. A little teaser doesn't hurt.
And y'all see how sexy she did that? A little teaser doesn't hurt. I love it. So we also have Anthony O'Neill is going to be one of our panelists in Nashville. And we have Amy Porterfield. So powerhouses. This panel in Nashville is going to be so much fun. Y'all do not know. Sarah, when you said yes, and you guys said yes to me, I was like, they're going to come to my panel?
Yes.
Really? I was so excited.
Yes. It's what? With family and this panel, y'all, if you don't understand or know who Amy is, you are like, go do that right now. If you don't know who Anthony is, go do that right now. Both of them are not only just exceptional human beings, but they're just gifted. Oh, they are gifted. And if you're not in the room, you're crazy. And you live in Nashville, like, you're going to get your spirit fed. You're going to learn about your money. You're going to learn about life. You're going to learn about intuition and how to follow it and how to take risks and how to be your absolute best self in whatever capacity and arena that you want to be in. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Immediately, I was like, yes. He's like, do you want to know the details? Don't care. I don't even care what the details are. I was like, yes.
This is going to be so fun. So now do you know them personally? You said they're family, so do you hang out with them a lot?
So because of the pandemic, we actually haven't all met in person yet. We all have gotten to know each other via Clubhouse, social media.
Yes.
Like, we're all friends in this place, but
this is going to be like a huge, like, first in-person family meeting. Let's go. Like, I can't believe it. Oh, this is going to be so fun.
Sean is literally my brother from another mother, and we've never met in person.
Now Sean, you got to be there.
Have to be.
We also got to give a big shout out to Andrew. Yes. Andrew is the founder of BYOB. He's also in the background helping us too. Oh my gosh, like, we're gonna have so much fun.
Yes.
So much fun.
So good.
Oh my gosh. So back to your story though, because I want to know more. Yeah. So how did you Well, we were talking earlier about motherhood and about having a son with autism. So how has that journey been?
So it's twofold. Vulnerable moment. I wish I would have dealt with his diagnosis differently. But again, I'm an introvert, so I dealt with it by myself. I just kind of put myself in a cocoon after he was diagnosed. Honestly, I felt like I failed him. I felt like I did something wrong. Was it, something that happened in my pregnancy? Was it something that I did? So you think of, as a mom, I think of all of these scenarios of what I could have done differently. And I realized one day that by doing that, by asking God why, or by asking God, like, did I make a mistake? I was telling him he made a mistake. And he didn't. And my son is perfect and wonderfully made. And to be honest, I went from being shy and you would never know I ever existed. I would be in a corner. Literally no one knew I existed. That was me. I was that girl. And because my son is also nonverbal, I found my voice. Through him, I knew that I had the responsibility of speaking because I had it. I had the responsibility of advocating because I could, and I owed it to him. And then along the way, I realized that it was no longer about just Josiah, who's my son. It was no longer just about him. He was always going to be fine. Like, his mom is a bad A, I'm a bad A. And I'm always going to fight, and I'm a wolf, and I'm a mama bear to my core. I am nice, but I will also be your biggest nightmare, and you'll regret it for the rest of your life, and you will, I will haunt you for the rest of your life. When it comes to my kids.
Basically, we need all know, don't mess with you.
Don't mess with the babies
out here in these streets.
Don't mess with the babies. But I didn't even find that part of me and my confidence until I had him. And the more I talk about being an autism mom, the more I realized that there were other mothers that were like me. The more that the women that realized, like, hey, I wasn't working out because I thought I was being selfish, or I thought I couldn't have this career or pivot in my career because I needed to do this, or I had to be this. Being a mother is it's the best job title I could have ever asked for. Now, is it hard? Absolutely. Is there a manual for what we're doing? No. Sometimes I'm like, okay, did they eat today? Is there a roof over their head? And did anybody get hurt? And if the answer was no, then I'm like, yes,
good job.
I'm good. I did a great job. And the expectations that I was setting on myself were so big that it was unnecessary stress. But with being an autism mom, every day is different and every day is a challenge. But I've also learned to accept it in all of its glory. And he's the sweetest, kindest, most gentle. He's allowed me to feel, and that's where my intuition comes from. It's from my mom and from my son. My mom is very spiritual and intuitive, and my son made me understand how to read people's cues without them ever talking, because I had to for him. And so it's made me such a better person. I think that's what makes me, he's my why. The boys are my why. I show up every day because he's my why. I tell myself, what would he say today? Did I give up? Did I quit? Did I not show up for others? Did I not encourage? Did I not show up for myself? I don't know if I could look at him and not answer that. Like, there's something about disappointing my son that just doesn't sit well with me. But he is the reason for everything that I do. They give me that drive every day. My son literally never complains. He never whines. He never cries. He's always happy. And I think to myself, if things were different, would I trade places with him? I would do it in a heartbeat. But would I change him? Not a chance.
I love that you said earlier that you were the quiet person in the corner and nobody knew who you were, because it sounds like you're a perfect mom for him. Like you there's things that you can relate to and know, even in like in his everyday, that like you were born for this.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I was chosen.
Yeah. And there was, so I went to seminary where we like learned all about the Bible. And I remember one of our professors, he told us he wanted us to write all of our challenges, like in our story, like what are all the challenges that you remember? And then as you start seeing things that happen over and over again, then you started realizing that a lot of your challenges are where your calling is.
Yeah.
Like your calling is from your challenges. And I love that you were saying, like, because of this, like, you've become who you are because of this challenge or because of some of the challenges in your life. Like, this is what made you who you are.
Every single challenge in my life, I have learned to, not saying that I don't like cry or that I don't, you know, have my moments. I'm not saying that. I have my like 5-10 minutes of thug tears and then like I pull myself back together.
Right.
But every single challenge in my life I have learned to accept because whatever's on the other side has always been greater. And the person that I become keeps shifting and I keep evolving. And sometimes I'm like, dang. And sometimes I think we live, you know what the Bible says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, right? And sometimes I think we go through the valleys and it hurts and it's painful. And sometimes we sit there and we park and we build a house there and we were never meant to stay there. Sometimes those challenges help to make you better and stronger so that when you get to the other side, there is something. Sometimes I feel like the devil also uses those challenges as a distraction for keeping you in some place. And I have found, I'm telling you, every time, even awful things that have happened to me have led me to become a completely new person on the other end of it. And I wouldn't change it. Teri, when I tell you, every room I'm in, every space that I take, every seat that I'm at, there's not a moment where I'm like, God, either one, I don't know why I'm here, or two, I'm not qualified. But I know you've called me, so I'm going to go in because I would be doing you a disservice and I would be insulting God if I didn't go in. I do that anyway. I do it while I'm scared or doubtful or having, you know, imposter syndrome. But y'all, when you all are scared of taking up space, when you're scared of sitting at the table, when you're scared of building the table, I am telling you to do it anyway. And even if you feel like you're not qualified, do it. There has never, ever, ever in my entire life, in my entire career, where I walked into a room and I was like, yeah, I'm the ish the first time. The first time. I'm never qualified, but I know that I'm called to be there. So I take a seat.
Oh my goodness. And I love this comment that just came through. Fixing Your Finances says he equips the call.
Yes.
He equips the call. So you may walk in feeling like you're not qualified, but then the Lord's like, actually, I already prepared you for this.
Yep.
Just walk in what I told you to do. Just be obedient. Just do what I told you to do.
Yes.
I love this.
Yes,
oh, wow. What do you think? Like, so what's next for you right now? What are you called to do next? Do you know?
One of the things I can't talk about yet.
Okay.
There is something that I manifested 4 years ago that I forgot about, and it is happening. One of the things that I like to do is to write a letter to my future self or do a voice recording. And I wrote a speech for a future award that I had a dream. I saw it. I knew what I was wearing. I knew where I was. I knew who was with me. Like, I saw the whole thing play out. And so I woke up that night. It was December 26th of 2019 when I wrote the speech. And like, the beginnings of that are starting to come into place. And it's just, it's really quite unbelievable. I don't get it, but I do it anyway. The other thing too is I'm going on, so in Atlanta in November, I will be doing the first pop-up tour, and then I will be doing Super Bowl, All-Star, and a bunch of other events in 2022. Like, those are happening.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. First of all, when we get off of here, I'm like, how do I come to the pop-up? How do I get my ticket? Just want to eat.
Yes, come on. You know, it's, you know, this, I'm starting to get comfortable with like being out and about in public and speaking now. So that's definitely happening. And the other thing too is that again, I don't talk about it very much, is my goal is to have invested in 10 companies before the end of the year of men and women of color.
Nice.
We make up less than 1% of folks who are investing, but also less than 1% who are also receiving funding. So that I am blessed, I have been blessed, and now I feel like this is my time to also make sure that I can bless other companies and other founders who are not getting the funding. And if I can help, then that's where I'm at. I think we're in a space where we're understanding financial literacy. We're starting to understand trading and stocks, and we're just starting to come to a place where the conversations are being open and transparent, and the availability of building wealth is now, and building generational wealth is now.
Oh, I couldn't have said it better. Like, it's so true. It's so, so true. Now, because you are investing, let's like go into that a little bit. And I know I want to respect your time. But so what, because I'm recently became an advisor on a venture cap fund, and we're going to be investing in like some HBCUs, like students who've created ideas in HBCUs, and then we'll fund them because oftentimes they don't get enough funding. But I've been asking all my VC friends, like, okay, what are the best practices of this? What are your tips, advice? So any tips or advice as you've been an investor for a while into different companies? Like maybe we can start with, like, how does a Black company even show that they're good enough to be invested in? Like, what are some tips for them to even come to the table correctly?
So I'm not a VC, I'm an angel investor. Here's the way that I look at investing. A lot of times, like the early stuff you can Google, but it's like, do you have a deck? What does your company structure look like? One of the things that I ask for, to me, that's really important, is who's your team? What's your advisory board? And if you don't have a board yet because you're not there yet, but at least who's your team? I think that's really, really, really important. If you are a solopreneur, it is hard. It's going to be, it's really, really hard. And obviously the whole point of investing is to make your money back and to make more of it. And so, you know, making sure that you have your business plan. What is your business model? What is the problem that you solve? Why are you the person to solve it? Do you have your proof of concept? But beyond just the regular, that stuff we know, I think for me, here's what I would say. I need to know that you believe in your product or in your concept. Mm-hmm. I think when you're pitching, sometimes the connection isn't even just about pitching what the thing is or what the product is, but why do you connect to the product? What is it about this particular product, software? What does it do? If you can't explain it to me in a couple of sentences, those are kind of red flags for me. Like if I was to ask you, hey, Teri, what do you do? And you would say, I do trade and travel.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You could give me your 1 or 2 elevator pitch about what it is. And then obviously once we sit down, then, you know, then we would have a longer conversation. For me, I love a founder's story. I love to hear the background. I want to hear about your family. You know, what did you have to give up? What did you sacrifice? I actually get nervous when a founder tells me that they haven't sacrificed anything or I haven't had any hardships. That makes me nervous, like really, really nervous. Because that means you haven't hit a wall yet, and that wall will come. And entrepreneurship is not for everybody. So
it is hard.
It is hard. It is hard, but I love a founder that I can connect with. I love a founder too, where not only am I coming on for, you know, money purposes or just advisory, like how can I help you and where do I add value to your company? That's also important to me. I don't want to just be like, hey, here's a check and then I'm out. That really doesn't sit well with my soul, obviously, because I'm not a VC either. But those are the things that I look for. The product just has to make sense. It has to solve an issue. It has to, you know, even for the kids at the HBCU, there are so many ideas that aren't funded. There's so many ideas that should be pushed forward, but we're just not getting the funding for it. And here's the reality. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm gonna say either. People who don't look like us are allowed to fail and try again. And I feel like we get the short end of the stick in a very, very short rope where we're not allowed to fail. But the reality is, like, Elon Musk failed a few times. Steve Jobs failed at a few things before they all got to where they are. And I think having the opportunity, again, to fail is really, really important for a founder. So it's again, being able to connect, being able to, like, do I understand the founder? Do I feel like they're in a mentally good space? Like, are you in therapy? Because if you're an entrepreneur, you might
probably need it. Yeah.
You need a therapist.
You're gonna need it.
Counseling, a friend. You're gonna need it, because this journey is not for everyone, and not everybody's cut out for it, and that's okay.
It's not. And there's parts of, so even in the documentary, we try to show it a little bit, but you can't show it all the way. But it's like, there's a lot that goes behind the scenes of a CEO. And like, when you're running things yourself, like, you've got late nights, all the webinars and calls are at night, and then you're like running and you have to talk to this person, talk to that person. Like, there's a lot. And then you sacrifice time with your family, and you're sacrificing all these other things. So there's a lot that goes into entrepreneurship. And people just think of you get to work from anywhere and you get to do, but no, there's a lot that goes into this.
It is not sexy, y'all. Entrepreneur, not. Please don't look at our pages and think that it's sexy. It's not. You're going to get your feelings hurt quickly. If you haven't lost your mind at least once a day, you're probably not doing it right. If you're not losing sleep,
right.
You're probably not doing it right.
At the right level. You're just not at the right level.
If you don't have some level of guilt, you're just, no. And for me, especially because I'm a mom, it is really important for me to be not only present, but active with my kids. And then we have, like, all these therapies and everything that's happening. So I have to be present. And so for me, sometimes that means sacrificing my sleep. Sometimes that means, my work day is broken down into, like, the first half of my day, and then I work at night when the kids go to bed. So it is a question of what are you, not even what are you willing to sacrifice. It's just, what does it mean to you? Do you want it? Is this what is purposeful to you? Is this passionate? Do you actually love it? I can't tell you how many times I have entrepreneurs that will come over to the agency and they'll say, hey, like, help us navigate. We need strategy. And the more questions I ask, by the time we get to the end, we realize you're not even passionate about this business.
You don't even want to do this no more. Right.
No, like, it was just a good way to make money. And if that's why you're starting, your business is going to fail every time.
It will, or at least it won't last. Like, there will be times where you're going to have to decide, like, why am I really doing this? Yep. And I even have gone through seasons like that. I think everybody goes through that season, and you have to kind of recheck yourself. Like, is this really what I want to do right now? Like, is this really important to me? Like, why am I doing this? And if you can't answer those questions, and you're going to go through every day kind of grudging, like, oh, I don't want to be here. Why I got to do this? Yeah. So no, it's important to have your why. Yep, I see John in here talking about what's your why.
Why? Because you'll quit, or you'll start doing mediocre work after a while. Like, this is a longevity game. Can you wake up? The question I ask myself when I get into that place of I'm not sure, or why am I doing this, or I'm tired, or like, listen, today ain't the day, this is for the birds. Yeah. When I get like that, what I ask myself is the first question I asked 3 years ago when I started Sara Lovestyle, and that was, could I wake up and do this every single day and never get paid? And the answer is still yes. And if the answer is yes, then I had to get up and keep going.
I was telling you earlier about the amount that I made on my trade. So, and this will just be for everybody who's on this live now, but, so actually, I've been, like, working towards this goal to make $1 million in a day trading stocks. And I did it today. Like, I did it. Like, oh my gosh. It was on Amazon. And it's like, what's really cool about it too is I told my students about it. So, like, I'm like, okay, y'all, like, 7,000 of y'all, look at this chart. And, like, I'm not the one to, like, call out trades, but I'm like, y'all, this is really good one. Like, have you seen it? And Miss Tim's on here like, yes. And so, like, it finally happened today. Like, I, like, realized the profit, like, sold, realized the gains. And so then you have to come back and you got to check yourself. Like, I just made $1 million in a day. Do I still want to do this? Like, I don't have to. But I still was like, no, I still want to do this. Like, I'm so excited about this movie tour. I'm so excited about like us showing the documentary on screens. Like,
Yes.
I'm so excited about like still having more people able to do what I just did. Like,
Yeah.
I'm teaching you guys so y'all can do this too. Like, I'm still freaking excited about this, right? But you have to have a why, otherwise you'll get pulled in every direction and it'll be so easy to want to quit.
I literally was talking to my coach this morning, and she asked me, we were working on something on a project that I'm releasing soon. And she said, how come you don't like do this with your emotions? And she said, you're so even keeled. And the reason is because if you were to go up with the highs emotionally every time, that is such an easy place to stay. It is such an easy place to be like, deuces, right. I'm out. Hey, 7,000 of y'all, you're on your own. Baby, I made it. I'm out of here. Could you imagine, like, bye. Right. I made my goal. I'm done. Like,
they'd be like, oh no. It's like, goodbye, y'all. Exactly. And shout out to all y'all in the chat too that are congratulating me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And it is so important to absolutely celebrate the wins. And it's an absolute must. I think too, like, because the highs can be so high, the lows can feel really, really low. And I think when you're unable to balance out those emotions, it's hard to like keep going every single day. At least for me, I know what it is. If I swayed every time like my emotions went or the business went up and down, I'd probably lose my mind. I'd probably be a nutcase. I'd probably need more therapy.
And you know, I wonder if that's partly because we're introverts, and then also because we, and I'm putting this on you, so it might not be true at all, but this is how I feel personally.
Yeah.
I think because the Lord has called me to this, oftentimes I'm not super high with the wins because I feel like, okay, I'm just being obedient to the Lord. Like, I'm grateful that he allowed me to do this. So like, don't look at me, look at him. Which may not be right. My therapist would probably be like, no, Teri, I need you to claim that. but like, you know, and then on the downs, it's kind of like, well, that's okay too, because the Lord's got it. He's going to handle my burden and my trials. Like, God, that's you, not me.
Yep.
Lord, come through with the grace and mercy. Like, let's figure this out.
Yes.
So I'm like, I can kind of stay here in this like even place, but I agree with you. Like, if you just stay at the highs, then like the drop would be so far down. So it's kind of like, let me just keep relying on the Lord because he's what got me here and he's what's going to keep having me go forward.
But celebrate it. Like, I'd be flipping tables. I'd be throwing couch cushions around. I'd be running around my house. I'm telling you right now, nobody would be able to tell me nothing today or this week. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. You're right, though. I need to do something to celebrate. But next week's the first day of the tour, so maybe we'll have to do something or even on the 8th when I see you, we'll have to like toast champagne or something fun.
Yes.
I don't even drink that much, but like that day we're having something sparkling in a cup. It might be grape juice.
I believe in celebrating every moment of life, every part of the process. It has to be celebrated. Like, you just have to. You're doing things that aren't normal. Like, this isn't normal. The things that we are doing are not normal. But I've learned that normal doesn't change the world. Normal doesn't make impact. Normal doesn't. If you think about the greatest entrepreneurs, none of them were considered normal. And even in the Bible, when you're thinking about the greatest disciples, none of them were normal. Jesus was not normal. And I don't want to be normal. I want to be extraordinary, and I want to do things that are different. And Teri, you are doing it. I'm so freaking proud of you. You are doing it. You are living it. You're talking about it. You are showing others how to do it. You are so incredibly called. Yeah, if you're not on this tour, I don't know what y'all doing.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. Like, nothing is going to top that. We on that. We got to end the call. That was beautiful. Oh, goodness. Is there I guess, and we have been on here for a little while, so we can wrap up. Is there any last thing you want to say to the people? And I cannot wait to see you, Sara. I cannot wait to see you in Nashville. And thank you so much for joining us. Like, this panel is going to be freaking amazing. Just amazing.
I am so excited. I'm so excited. I know a lot of the cities are are sold out. I think there's 2 cities left that aren't sold out, and then you add in Dallas. You all
Yeah, LA and Nashville are not sold out, but I think LA only had a couple tickets left, so it might be just Nashville, and then I added Dallas. Yeah.
You need to be in the room, y'all. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna cry. Your spirit's gonna be filled. You better be there. I don't know what to tell you. Like, FOMO is real, y'all.
It sure is. When you start seeing these pictures of everybody else and what all they got to do, you're gonna be like, dang, I should have been an action taker. And see, here's the secret too. Like, I put it out there first with just me. So the people who signed up first and like paid their it's only $20, y'all, it's a movie ticket. But the people who signed up, I think they're gonna get blown away because they're not expecting, like, we got, oh my gosh, the speakers in New York are just phenomenal. Like Selena Hill is coming out from Black Enterprise. Tiffany the Budgetnista is gonna be on the panel. Like, these people, Mario Armstrong, award-winning Emmy winner, like there's like so many people coming out. In LA, Carrick is coming out, NBA player and investor. Like, so many people are showing up. Like, this is going to be so freaking amazing. Like, I just can't wait. I can't wait.
You put the whole, I mean, you gathered the spirit of the Lord with this panel. Like, this panel is not to be played with.
When we talk about Black wealth, we talk about Black wealth.
Come on.
And we need to know that investing is a huge part of it. And I feel like people, like, my big thing is you need to see a regular girl like me that used to be assistant principal of an elementary school, now multi-million dollars. Like, you need to see me somewhere so that you can know that you can do it too. Yeah. And like, that's what I think the Lord has called me to. Like, look, girl, I need them to see your life and then give glory to me. Like, that's literally all that it's about.
Come on. Listen, that was a sermon. I swear to, one last thing, and then I promise I'll leave you alone. I was talking to Nikki earlier, and you all, if you're not following Nikki, you absolutely, like, go do it. She's the best. And I was like, Nikki, I'm unsure about how to deal with this or how to showcase this. And she's like, you just show up, you just do. And I'm like, okay, I know that already, but like, tell me what to do. And she's like, just show them. Mm-hmm. I'm like, but I want to show them, but I want to tell them this. And she's like, but I'm not comfortable telling them this. And she's like, well, just show them. And I said, you know what? You're right. Because when I started Sara Lovestyle, I was a stay-at-home mom. When I started Sara Lovestyle, I had no idea where it would go. When I started it, I was a special needs mom. When I started it, I had no idea about financial literacy. When I started it, I had zero experience, y'all. Zero. When I tell you I am not special at all, I am not. I'm not. There is nothing about me that is special. I'm not.
But you are.
But I know that I am called.
Yes.
And if I know that I can do it, anyone can. And if Teri can do it, anyone can. It is so important to me, just like you said, to show people like what it's about and how it can be done. And we'll deep dive more into it on the tour. But even with investing, it's not what people think it is. You don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're not doing that. There is a way and there is a system to do it. And you don't necessarily have to follow what everybody else is doing. There is, like, put yourself together with a group of men or women or whatever, get yourself a mentor, connect with other human beings that are going on the same journey as you. And sometimes you will leave people along the way, and that's okay. Sometimes people are just there for, a reason and a season. Yeah. But in that place of humility, growth, and learning, and uncomfortable spaces, and sometimes tears and uncertainty and doubt and fear and all of that, when you have a group and a team of people that can come together that grow along with you as you're learning, it just changes the entire experience, and it will change your view on what is possible. I truly do not believe in a glass ceiling. I don't believe that it exists. I don't even believe the sky's the limit. I don't even believe that. There is no limit. Like, knowing what I know now, and I wish I would have known in my 20s. I wish it would not have taken me getting to my 30s to realize I am literally unstoppable, and we are. Who was to ever, like, could you have imagined in your wildest dreams and in your mind, like, you could trade and make $1 million in a day?
Girl, do you know how long I spent trying to prove to bosses that I should be there? Yep. And prove to people that you should want me here and I deserve to be here, and I don't want me to be fired, and I need a raise, and all these things. I'm trying to prove to them that my work is good and all like this all the time. Girl, had I known who I am now, so many people would have got the deuces so fast. So fast. Oh, you thought my thumbtacks were the wrong color? Oh, you thought that I needed to go clean up after all these other people? Oh, you thought that I misspelled that one word and therefore I don't know anything.
Yep.
Deuces.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. I would have had more faith in myself. I should have given the same grace I give other people, I wish I would have given myself.
Yes.
The same level of, what did I say today? I said it to myself today, and I had to write it down. I said, I'm no longer in the position in my life where I will allow people to disrespect my boundaries for the sake of their comfort. And I wish I would have applied that in my life. I wish I would have applied that in business. I wish I would have applied that when I worked in politics, when I worked in corporate America. I wish I would have given myself the grace to really be like deuces, like I know my ish and I know what I'm doing. And I wish the same way that I would encourage my friends, I would have encouraged myself. It just, could you imagine someone telling you like your thumbtack isn't good enough or it's the wrong color? So there's you just don't have the smarts. You just don't have it. Could you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
A spelling error was how you determined my worth?
Right. Oh,
Absolutely.
I have an improvement plan because of that one spelling error that was on that email.
Yep.
Girl.
Not today, Satan.
Not today. I just made $1 million today, so not today.
Come on, not today. The devil's alive, the truth ain't in him. Come on.
Girl, oh my gosh. So real quick, before we get off, I just wanted to say a quick prayer. I just felt it earlier, and I feel like I should pray for the people that are on here with us. Do you mind if we pray together? And then
Let's do it. Absolutely. Come on, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dear Heavenly Father, I just pray right now for everybody who's on this call with us, Lord. I pray for anybody who is feeling less than, Lord, that you will show them who you are, who they are in you, Lord. I pray, Lord, that you will just bless over everybody who is taking a step of faith, Heavenly Father, and needs to kind of have that encouragement and that confidence to go into the way that you're calling them, Lord. And Lord, I just pray for everybody on the call, Lord, just be with them, Lord. If there's any people that are hurting or suffering, Lord, be with them. Show them your grace and who you are as a comforter, Lord God. And Lord, I just thank you, Lord, for my sister Sarah, Lord. Just be with her and all the things that she is doing, Heavenly Father. I just touch and agree with anything that she is planning, all the great things that are coming up in her life. And Lord, anything too that she's just been praying that's in the shadows, Lord. I just ask that you just give her a great blessing and just be with her and be the God that she knows that you are in her life. In Jesus' name, we dearly pray. Amen.
Amen. I receive that. Amen.
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 Thank you guys so much for joining us. And we can't wait to see you on the tour. If you haven't got your ticket yet, go to tradeandtraveltour.com and you'll get to see like all the journey of me as I moved from Dallas to Puerto Rico, and then just all the love and experience and everything from all the panelists too, because we'll have the series premiere and then we'll do the panel. So I can't wait to see y'all there. And I can't wait to see you, Sarah. It's so great getting to know you better.
I cannot wait. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.